Well, welcome back, everyone, to this amazing interview-a-thon. This is Dr. Faye, and welcome to the show, the Dr. Faye Talk Show, hosted on Brand on Demand on Roku, Amazon, soon to be Apple, as well as multi channels across social media. We've been hosting some amazing conversations this week from transformational coaches around the world who are bringing messages of hope and inspiration. And I tell you, it's one of the most amazing experiences of my life that I get to be the host for such amazing conversations here. We've had person after person to come with tools and resources that have empowered many of our listeners. And the trend will continue because today, it just in a few seconds, I'm going to bring to the stage a woman that I think is so amazing. Oh gosh, she's bringing such power, such fire, such talent into the marketplace right now. And before I continue to talk about her, I'm ready to just jump in and begin to speak with her. Welcome to the stage, my co host, I'll call her today, Lauren Gill. Thank you so much for being with me today, darling.
My pleasure, Dr. Faye. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, it is a pleasure having you. You shine, you shine, you shine. And I am just so
You
grateful to have you with
are.
us today. Lauren, you have a very unique tool in your tool belt that you have sharpened and made ready for this marketplace. And I know you've been in business for some time, but I wanted to, before we really dive into that, let's talk about who is Lauren Gale and what brings you to this conversation today.
Wow. So I'm pretty old, so that could be a really long story.
Oh,
So I will shorten it.
listen, before you get into that, I had and Adriana Martinez here early, and she's 25. So I just call her my little sis. So we're in a space where it doesn't matter as long as you have tools, we want them. So go ahead, darling.
I was just saying it could be a long story, so I'll cut the story short. um, so, how did I get to where I am today? So, where I am today is I am a chakra healer using chakra dance as my healing modality. And it's been a windy road. I mean, I am a very left brain, right brain balanced person. I've been an artist, I've been in sales, I've owned companies, I've done a lot of different things in my life. And through it all was the underpinning of a lot of trauma. And as I intermittently succeeded and failed in different areas of my life, I was spending a lot of time, energy, effort, and money attempting to heal that trauma and and be more effective at my life. And then because I worked in the business world and was still operating with a pretty creative point of view, um, I was always intrigued by what motivated business leaders, including myself, to invest very large sums of money in coaching, consulting, development, management consulting, because those are the kinds of things that I would sell.
Sure.
And when it came time to pull the trigger and implement everything they paid for, they did not do it.
Oh, really?
Right. And it left their teams mystified and demoralized. It
Oh,
left them mystified and demoralized, and it left us as their providers mystified and demoralized because you
sure.
always want to feel like you're providing a service, right? That's going to be
Exactly.
beneficial.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
about 4 years ago, I ran into chakra dance.
Mm-hmm.
And through 4 years of healing myself and through facilitating others, I was able to look back at those experiences that I had in my own businesses and with my clients and
Mm-hmm.
see that it wasn't that these people didn't want to make these changes. It's
Mm-hmm.
that their trauma that was stuck in their body and their unconscious mind, which was controlling, and all of us controls about 95 to 99% of everything we think, say, feel, or do.
Mm.
It was preventing them. It
Yeah.
was instilling them with fear. It was keeping them stuck.
Yeah.
And having experienced that from both sides as an owner who had those same stuckness things, and watching my clients, once I became extremely proficient, as you said, with chakra dance and chakra healing, I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to bring it into the community that I love the most, which is small businesses.
Okay.
So that's kind of the short story of how I got here.
Wow. And I know that there has to be a lot to that story because you were offering services to business. And so today you have a, a broader view of what you can do with this talent and with this gift. So before we do a little bit of practice, because I want you to show us what you do, she went like, oh, well, to the best that you can. Let's talk about definitions because the audience that we serve is from, I mean, they're diverse from all walks of life around the
Mhm.
world. And for some, this is extremely new territory. Let's dive into it a little bit about what does it mean? What does chakra even mean? Because this could be Greek to someone.
Perfect question. So we are all energy.
Okay.
Every being, everything on this planet is energy.
Hmm.
And everything has a vibrational frequency. I
Okay.
mean, your desk is energy with a vibrational frequency. The lamp behind you is energy with a vibrational frequency. As humans and all living beings as well, we have energy and it vibrates at different frequencies. Color vibrates at different frequencies. And so, chakras are energy centers in our bodies, and actually, some consider outside of our bodies, where when we experience trauma, energy gets stuck
Hmm.
and it creates dis-ease, which is
Hmm.
where the word disease comes from.
Hmm.
So if you've ever been to a chiropractor, if you've
Yeah.
ever been to an acupuncturist
Hmm.
or an acupressurist,
Yeah.
a lot of what they're doing, whether they say it out loud or not, is working with chakra slash energy centers in
Hmm.
your body.
Hmm.
There are 144 chakras in the human system. We in chakra dance work with the 7 main energy centers that go from the base of your spine to the crown of your head.
Hmm.
And when you experience, so here's my philosophy on life is we come into this world and we're these shiny joy magnets.
Hmm.
We shine with source energy. We come in with that spark of source that brought us into the world. And then stuff happens.
Yeah.
Life happens.
Yes.
And all this muck and mud and
Hmm.
dirt and clay and shoulds
Yeah.
and can'ts and mustn'ts and couldn'ts pour all over us and get us stuck. Think about clay that's all stuck
Hmm.
and that we don't shine anymore. We can't shine anymore. With chakra healing, whether it's through chakra dance, which I think is the best way to do it, I've tried a lot of ways, or others, there's lots of others, but through chakra dance, chakra healing, what happens is as you start to heal and balance those chakras, your body releases the toxicity of the trauma and the trauma. It starts to unwire the wiring that the trauma created, and you begin to shine again. You are now becoming closer and closer to that original source joy, and you become a joy magnet. So, I
So
mean,
how does that work though? And I hear exactly what you're saying. We babies, oh, I mean, I just love babies, but babies come in, we come in here already with light. I mean, what God has done, I mean, just created these beings, and not the body is showing up. The spirit has always been. So the body is showing up, and here's this light being coming into the earth, right?
mhm,
And then life begins to happen. The
mhm.
layers of culture, the layers of society, environment, all of these, like you said, I love it, shouldn't, couldn't, whatever, begin to pile up on us. And it begins to, the light doesn't go anywhere. It's just that it's not seen anymore.
It's covered up.
Covered up, yeah, like the mud, the stuff you're talking about. So we go
I mean,
through
it's
life,
in there, but you can't see it anymore and you can't feel it anymore. And
right?
other people can't see it or feel it either. You
Mm-hmm.
lose, you lose touch with it.
Yeah.
You're starting to hear, you're starting to listen to other people's stories
Mm-hmm.
instead of your truth. It's a way of, like, being completely disempowered. Think of it that way. Think of it like an electric plug.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden so when you plug in your computer to an electrical source, that
Right.
power, that current comes in and brings that computer to life.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are disconnected from that source, over time, there's no power.
Right.
It just ebbs away. And so through chakra healing, you are once more being plugged back into that source. And then each time you dance with chakra dance, you do that healing, you are recharging that battery. And a really good way to think of it is trauma. It's been scientifically proven that trauma rewires our brain.
That's true. That is so true.
Okay, so think of trauma as a virus in our software.
Uh,
Our brain is the we're the hardware.
mhm.
Our brain is the hardware, but there's the software.
Yeah.
And this trauma is a virus in our
Mhm.
software. And if our software is corrupted,
Yeah.
our hardware can't function.
Mhm.
When you do chakra healing, energy release, you start removing the virus
Mhm.
and you reinstall the original software. And the hardware is now able to function appropriately.
Can you walk us through? Give us an example, and I'm not going to put you in a position to get up and dance, but give us an
That's not how chakra dance actually works, anyway. So,
um, give us an example of where a person will start, and then from experiencing the decluttering, the pulling away of all the layers. I call it like peeling an onion in life. Peeling an onion, we're covered up with all these layers,
right.
and when you start peeling that back through the system and the tools that you use, what does that look like through chakra dance?
Okay, great question. So, chakra dance is an extremely subtle, elegant, wonderful way of healing. It combines four pillars of healing: music, in this case, chakra specific music. Music is one of the greatest healing modalities. Movement. Every trauma lives in our body, and in order to remove it, we need to move.
Wow.
Movement therapy is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Guided meditation. And guided meditation visualization is one of the key ways of rewiring our brains.
Mm-hmm.
And mandala art.
Okay.
So Chakra dance was created 25 years ago by a woman named Natalie Southgate, and it's completely based on Jungian psychology, which is all about the power of the unconscious mind. We must heal the unconscious mind in order to heal the conscious world. We have to heal in the inner world before we can impact the outer world. So chakra dance combines these four top modalities: chakra specific music, movement, which is your internal design of movement. There's no chakra dance moves.
Oh, okay.
And guided meditation and mandala art. So what a session looks like is normally a chakra dance session is held in a darkened room because this is an inner dance.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts with a meditation based on whatever chakra we're working with, a guided meditation that I guide. We then move into a dance segment, and this is an internal dance. People dance with their eyes closed
Mm-hmm.
or their gaze down. There's a saying, standing, sitting, laying on the ground, anyone can chakra dance. This isn't Zumba. There
Okay.
are no steps. This is your internal dance. Your body is going to do exactly what it needs to do
Mm-hmm.
to heal that chakra.
Mm-hmm.
That could be running around the room screaming. It
Mm-hmm.
could be sitting in the corner staring at the wall. It doesn't matter. That's what your body needs to do to heal that. And whatever it's doing is perfect.
So
And
there's no wrong way to move.
there is no wrong way to move.
Mm-hmm.
And so we start with the meditation, we move into the dance. We then do a mandala art piece, which is either done on a piece of black paper or white paper with soft pastels, hard pastels. I walk people through how to do that. But this isn't about being an artist. This is about integrating the dance experience, the
Mm-hmm.
meditation experience
Mm-hmm.
into your being. And so we do a mandala art piece, and then we have a feedback session. When we're doing this, I'm doing this all virtually. This year is the first year we've ever been able to do chakra dance virtually. And so we have a Zoom once a week where people share their experiences, and then an online community. I have an app called Dance, Celebrate, Heal, where
Okay.
everything is delivered through my app. So the idea is you dance in your own time. I show you how to create a sacred space in your house.
Mm-hmm.
You dance, and then we come together in the community, and then once a week through Zoom to share our experiences. And you said it, it's like peeling an onion. As people go through the chakra dance sessions,
Mm-hmm.
one of the great things about the virtual is you get to keep all the material, where in the past you had to keep coming and paying for chakra dance, chakra dance, chakra dance.
Mm-hmm.
Now you pay one time and it's yours forever, so you can keep dancing and dancing. But every time you dive into that chakra, whichever chakra that may be, you are unwrapping. You're going deeper. You're clearing more. Energy is flowing more. And as that healing happens in here, it starts rippling out into the world. And when you think about this in a business context, there are chakras in business. Every business has its own chakras. They control different aspects of a business. And it is the leader of that unit or that company that their chakra health is directly impacting the health of their organizations.
Does that also apply to communities?
I would think the leaders of anything,
Okay.
but yes. I mean, if we talk about the concept in some communities that we will always be poor.
Mm-hmm.
We will never have this. We will always have that. Well, if the leaders of the communities are operating from that trauma-based point of view, how far ahead can the community get? Because
Exactly.
that informs every way they communicate
Yeah.
back into the community.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
point.
I get that. And, and we see that. We can drive from state to state or city to city. You don't even have to go far. You can go from one zip code to another, or go within the
Exactly.
same city and cross the tracks, or go downtown to whatever. And then there are these little places in communities, and where it's so divided because of the mindset or the consciousness of the people in those particular areas. And we choose to live in a city based on that, based on that. We want to live here because of,
Mm-hmm.
and they can have the same city has one mayor, but it's so divided in the
Right.
way. Yes. So I hear exactly what you're saying and how powerful that it is when a leader is aligned. Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
Wish we had more onion pillars.
Well, that's the goal. I mean, that's really the goal. Since March, I've been writing all these articles on LinkedIn because that's where my clients are, on the connection between chakras and business.
Mhm.
And now, since about the end of September, I've really been focusing. I wanted to just lay that groundwork. And
Sure.
now I'm mostly focusing in on the impact of I've started a group called Holistic Leadership Wellness,
Mm.
where I'm inviting others in that also support that, because I want it to be a robust, and this is a LinkedIn group. But the idea is holistic leaders are necessary for this paradigm change that is happening in business. When you start bringing in artificial intelligence, you
Mhm.
can't continue to and expect your employees to work like robots.
Right.
It's time for the leaders
Mhm.
to become far more aware and to break those chains of only measuring success by metrics.
Uh, mhm. So now, once you have a leader and they're completely peeled back to the sweetness of the onion, right?
Right?
And I'm just thinking about the shift in our culture, the impact that that would have. And I've been speaking to this with every person who's actually, almost every person who's been a guest on this during this interview-a-thon. It's becoming more and more real to me how important it is that we have access to these tools,
Mm-hmm.
and that we are in this post-pandemic era where there are a lot of people that gain more layers than usual, right? So there's more to
Yeah,
deal with.
there are a lot of traumatized people.
Yeah,
And there is a huge schism between belief systems now that
yes,
is becoming more and more entrenched and creating a lot of pain.
yeah, yeah. Wow, creating a lot of pain. Talk a little bit about that. I want to hit on that for a moment, and then we have to let people know. Well, we got a few more minutes, but hit on that a little bit about if we don't do this work, whether it's this work or another work, we have to find a tool and a process that works for us. Talk about what we
So,
say.
I mean, we've been heading in this direction slowly. I mean, like I said, I'm on the older end, and I remember when business was all about Deming. I don't know if you're familiar with Deming, but it's like, let's all just figure out how to make every employee be a cog on a conveyor belt,
Hmm.
and there was all kinds of things like that. And there's things like Six Sigma, and they all serve their purpose, but for many decades, the idea was that you get to be a human at home and you are a robot at work. You know who you are here and who you are here. You
Hmm.
don't bring those things together.
Hmm.
There's now much more of a shift. We hear things like emotional intelligence and purpose led leadership and heart led leadership. And people are chief people officers or chief happiness officers or whatever they want to call themselves. So there's a shift happening, but we're on the edge of what I like to call holistic leadership,
Mhm.
conscious leadership. And I think people are becoming far more aware that we need to blend who we are as humans in with how we operate in business, because business is all about humans.
Yeah.
We are not machines.
Hmm.
We do not stop having our pains, our traumas, our fears, our joys when we walk into the office.
Yeah.
And now there's this thing called loud quitting, which when I was in the field, it was called onboard terrorism.
Mm.
And it's somebody who was an amazing employee and something flipped a switch. And now their whole goal is to bomb your company.
Right. I hear you.
It's becoming huge now.
Really.
And also keep in mind, there's a whole new generation of workers
Hmm.
who are not going to operate the way we, as me as a boomer or the other Gen Z, YQ, whatever, we were trained to pay attention to authority. They
Exactly.
aren't.
Hmm.
They want to be seen. They want to be heard. They want to be felt.
So true.
And if leaders aren't open to being that, feeling, hearing, acknowledging, they're not going to have any quality employees. And they can't do that when they're operating from trauma based leadership.
Oh, wow. Oh, this is such a critical message that you get this out in the world. Whether folks just listen to what Lauren is bringing to the table here. Whether or not you subscribe to chakra work or not, that's irrelevant. It's relevant to Lauren, but for you, the the point is that there are a lot of traumatized individuals in this world, and some of you are working for them. Some of you are working at companies where you go in with your trauma, their trauma, and the entire workforce inside of that company is operating from that same place. Perhaps the greatest gift that we can give you today, folks, is clarity. So you can understand what you're dealing with. And then you have to make a decision how you're going to free yourself first, because you got to give to you.
Right.
You may not be able to change your boss, and you may not, you can tell them about Lauren Gell. You can tell them about her.
Well,
But
and I'll work with other people besides leaders too. It's
yeah.
sometimes it's good to move change up.
Ah, very good point. Very good point. But at least you can take the messaging of what Lauren is bringing today and apply it to your life and realize, hey, I could use this teaching. I could use some of this layer and this mud and this junk that's on me to be removed from my life. And I need some tools to help me do that. And chakra dance is one of those tools. It's all Lauren is saying here, that this is a way.
Hmm.
It's not saying it's the only way, but it is a way. Lauren, for the next few minutes, tell us more about what you're doing in the marketplace. I know you work online and you're also working offline, as to how people can actually get in touch with you and you can share more of your journey with them.
Sure. So you very kindly put my website up there. So gailcreativearts.com is my home website. And you can go there. You can, if you scroll, you can read more about chakra dance and learn a whole lot of stuff there. But you can also scroll down to the very bottom of the page and book a call with me if you'd like to learn more. There's also some great free resources there. There is a 15-minute free sample of chakra dance called Freedom. So if you'd like to get a sense of what it is, you can download that and you can dance yourself and see if you'd like more. There's also a business chakra health check. So you can download that and start checking into the chakras of your company. No matter what level you're at, it's kind of interesting to get that insight from a lot of different levels. I am on LinkedIn, Lauren Gale. You can see how my name is spelled here. And I do have a masterclass that's going to be coming up on December 7th called Elevate Your Impact, Transformative Tactics for Visionary Leaders.
Beautiful.
And you can find that on Eventbrite. If I had thought ahead, I would have gotten that to put in the chat here. I don't know.
But they can connect with you on Facebook or well on
LinkedIn. They can
LinkedIn.
connect with me on
Are you
LinkedIn,
right?
and they can connect with me on Facebook as well. My
Mhm.
business page is there, Gale Creative Arts, and then I'm there as Lauren Gale. So yes.
Yeah, yeah. Because
Mhm.
that way they can easily find your event right there, and also on LinkedIn, go there and look up Lauren Gale, Gayl, and
Yep.
go ahead and do that now so that you don't forget. Because I know you guys get busy out there, so don't forget and go ahead and connect with Lauren. And I think that workshop is going to be amazing. It's December the 7th.
Yeah, it was. It was. I put it for December 6th, but then I remembered I'm going to see Macy Gray on December 6th, so
Okay.
I had to move it.
Had to move it from Macy Gray. Well, listen, darling, thank you so much for spending your precious time with me this
My
afternoon.
pleasure.
We appreciate you. You are such a joy, such
Thank
a
you.
light.
So are you.
Oh my
And thank
God.
you for putting this together. Oh my God, so much work.
Ah, but it's been a labor of love for sure. So thank you. And I look forward to spending more time with you in the very near future. Have a blessed rest of your day, Lauren.
Namaste.
Bye. Well, folks, I'm telling you, that was so much wisdom, so much light in what Lauren has brought to this show today. And I feel so honored to have shared the stage, this television show stage, with Lauren Gale. So go and connect with her in social media and be a part of what she's doing for leadership leaders around the world. As the other guests that I've had here have all been absolutely amazing. From Monday through today, Thursday, we have hosted some of the most powerful voices, in my opinion, that are out here with tools and services transforming the way we live our lives. Because after the pandemic, we looked for something, didn't we? We all looked for ways to rebuild. And even during the pandemic, what are we going to do now? How are we going to take the tools that we do have and build a life or rebuild a life? Well, the answers are being manifested through vessels like Lauren, Adriana Martinez, and so many others that we've held here. And let me tell you, open your hearts and receive what is being placed in front of you, because this is an opportunity to really move your life in the direction you have been dreaming of. And so you no longer have to sit on the sidelines, but be a participant in your own journey, in your own life, because you have the power resident within you truly to change the world. Listen, I'm Dr. Faye, your host and your pastor coach. It's my privilege and my pleasure to serve you. Thank you for being a part of this interview-a-thon, and many thanks and hugs to every one of my hosts, my co-hosts, because that's what they've been, not only guests, but co-hosts, to help bring you a message of hope. And as you move throughout your day, I invite you to join me in my events, virtual events, online and offline. But the way you keep up with me is just go to events.drfaye.com. And the promo you're about to see will share more of that with you. And remember, always, no matter where you are in the world, or where you are in your business, or where you are in your thinking, the calling is a gift, but the choice is yours. Kisses and hugs, and I'll see you soon.
Hmm. Have Hmm. Have you been Have you been feeling lately like your dreams are